Haverhill Journal, where we give you a quick look at what's happening in our city, with the most interesting stories from Broadway to Bradford. I'm Lindsay Perez, and today the Journal is abuzz with excitement about homegrown honey from Haverhill, as well as a visit to the newly renovated Fox Center's Head Start program. But first, hundreds of classic cruisers and happening hot rods came out for the Veterans Northeast Outreach Center's recent Car Show for Veterans fundraiser. The first car show of the season, it was a smashing success, with proceeds going to help VNEOC provide housing and support services for local vets. Come along as we check out a few awesome autos with HC Media's resident car connoisseur, Frank Novak, and learn more about VNEOC's mission.
Hi, I'm Frank Novak here for HC Media, and we are at the first Veterans Northeast Outreach Center car show being held here at Northern Essex Community College. We've got hundreds of cars here. They're new, they're old, they're exotics, they're Europeans, they're hot rods, you name it, and it's here. I hope you enjoy some of what you're going to see in this report.
So we're here at our first annual car show, sponsoring the Veterans Northeast Outreach Center. And our organization takes care of homeless and at-risk veterans. And what we try to do is we try to give them all the supportive services they need so they can get across their own personal finish lines. And events like this help us fund those types of supportive services.
We recently started a fundraising committee at VNEOC, so we've been working on different ideas for fundraising events, and we thought a car show would be a fantastic way to bring people from the community together, to learn about VNEOC, learn about the work that we do.
I met a gentleman by the name of Mike Karras. He's a member of a private racing club, car rally, mass tuning, and he originally said to me in the meeting that he does a summer car show and he donates proceeds to a veteran organization, and they were thinking about adding another veteran organization, and he heard about us. So he offered up, well, if you guys, think about doing a car show, I'd be willing to help you.
Once I met Ron Paradise over at the Haverhill Chamber of Commerce's lead lunch years ago, I wanted to connect with him and give back to the community one way. So here we are today with the car show to benefit Veterans Northeast Outreach Center.
As you can see behind me, we needed a big parking lot. So we reached out here to Northern Essex Community College. They were gracious enough to allow us to be here and be one of our major sponsors to the show.
What's your favorite car that you've seen out there today, your favorite cars?
I haven't walked around much, but I'd be more of the older versions of cars that are out here.
At a distance and at a quick glance, you might look at this as maybe a 1969 stock standard Mustang coupe. Lester, tell me a little bit about this car.
Well, the car was born a 6-cylinder, actually. Before I bought it, somebody had purchased it and put it in a barn, and I ended up with it.
A quintessential barn find. How long have you had it?
I've had it for almost 4 years. It took us about 3 years to restore it.
Were you inspired by McQueen's Bullet Mustang with that color?
That color is actually a 1967 color. It's a dark moss green. So it was the year before the Bullet color, Highland green.
I get you. After you put this 427 in there, let me ask you, did you drive it like you stole it?
Well, you can't really because, you'd probably end up with no license.
We are lucky enough to have Angel with us, who happens to be the owner of this beautiful Volkswagen. Angel, tell us a little bit about this car.
It's a 1962, shipped from Germany, Queen Mary, and she went through a full body restoration.
You've got a lot of aftermarket add-on parts here too, I noticed, with the luggage rack and the roof rack and all.
So I actually built that
really?
Just to make it different, yeah.
How often do you drive this car?
Every weekend if possible.
This is a car show. When you have a car show, you have hot rods, and this type of a hot rod is very, very appealing. Come on in here, John. Tell us a little bit about this car. This is a 40 Ford.
40 Ford two-door sedan deluxe. I've had it now for about 5 years. When I bought it, it was broken. It was all Chevy powered. I had to take the Chevy out of it and put all Ford powered in it.
That's a sacrilege. Because of its age and the type of thickness of its metal and everything, the frame and all that, it's a pretty heavy car, is it not? About 3,000 pounds?
Yeah.
My favorite car today was a DeLorean. I don't think I've ever seen one in person, so that was a really fun experience.
There's a Knight Rider vehicle here, which reminds me of my childhood.
This is our 1981 DeLorean. Got it down in Mississippi. We sat in a museum for 28 years. We drove it back home to Danvers, and my son wanted to convert it to a time machine. So over the past couple of years, we've slowly been converting it to the time machine.
Are you a Back to the Future fan?
Oh yeah, we got to watch it like once or twice a week. We drive it around all the time. We do errands. I get stopped in parking lots all the time. Going down the highway, people are videotaping me. It gets a little scary sometimes, but people absolutely love it.
What we've got here right now is a very rare car. It's a 1995 Lotus Esprit. You take a look at this wonderful sports car, you might think, well, is it Italian? Is it perhaps Japanese? Is it German? No, this is an English car. Truth be told, this is a race car.
Yeah, this is a special edition Esprit. This is a S4 Sport, so it's one of 331 in the world.
Is this a four-banger?
Yes, it is. 4-cylinder turbo, 300 horsepower.
When they produced this car, they wanted to be able to get it into the movies for product placement. Do you know how they did that?
I do. They put it in James Bond and Pretty Woman and maybe a couple other movies.
But this was the car that flew off the dock and into the water.
That's right.
Have you ever jumped this car from the bridge into the water?
No, I haven't.
Typically, on average, we have about 500 veterans a year that come to us in need.
Veterans Northeast Outreach Center is really grant-driven and grant-focused as far as funding goes. Fundraising like this allows us to do things outside of the grant to provide support and services to our veterans. Things like our food pantry, or if someone needs a new washer and dryer, funds from today's event would allow us to assist those veterans.
The Haverhill community has been great. I mean, we ask, they give.
I'm 22 years retired, United States Air Force. 6 years ago, before I even started working for VNEOC, I got my supportive services through here. And I always said to myself that if I could come back and work for the organization that changed my life, that I would. It's not a job, it's just the right thing to do. If anyone's looking for services, we're located at 10 Reed Street in Haverhill. No matter what you need, we'll find an answer for you. Even if we don't have it that day, we know how to find it. It's not if we can support you, it's how we can support you.
That was a perfect day for a car show. VNEOC's service to veterans continues throughout the year, and help is always appreciated. To volunteer, donate, or find assistance, visit VNEOC.org or call 978-372-3626. When you think beekeepers, you probably think of open fields and sprawling meadows, but it actually doesn't take a lot of space to successfully keep bees. In fact, there are beekeepers right here in suburban Haverhill, producing honey in their own backyards. The Haverhill Journal went down to meet with the good folks at SONNY Bees Honey for a sweet demonstration.
I got into beekeeping in 2015, 2016, and that was because I watched a show on History Channel about the bee collapse. So I look at my backyard, and that's how I started my beekeeping, right here on this backyard. Matter of fact, I told my wife I'm gonna become a beekeeper, and she just laughed. You know, she said, "Oh, really?" So in April in 2016, I got my 3 package of bees, and I installed them. And that's how I started beekeeping. I didn't know anything about beekeeping. I started with like a greenhorn. So I just buy bees, I become a beekeeper. That's how I was. I didn't take no classes, nothing. And then over the years, I had some great mentors and people teach me how to become a better beekeeper. And now we have approximately like 85 to 90 colonies. So becoming a beekeeper, you're gonna spend an average between $500 and change to $600 just to become with one hive. So that's kind of expensive hobby to have just a few bees in the backyard. I went to approach the local farmers to put more bees on it. And that's how I got involved with the local farmers like Chris's farm, Kimball's farm. So I started approaching the farms. So we went from 8 to 16 that year. And then the following year, we went and go from 16 to 32. And now we've been around, we're going on the 7th to 8th season of beekeeping right now. We're about 85 to 90 colonies right now. I have a few bees in my backyard, but like Chris's farm, they grow 90% of their natural foods, and I give them all free pollination. In the meantime, we provide them pollination for the orchard they have up top, the peaches in the apple orchard, the peas, the greens, they have the strawberries, and they have a whole bunch of vegetables during the season like tomatoes and all that stuff. Because the 4 to 5 bites we eat is pollinated by the honeybee. So helping them with the pollination, the pumpkins and the squashes and all that stuff is great for them. The production becomes a better production for the season. In the meantime, they give me a place to put the bees, and I get to harvest the honey. We give them a discount on the honey. They sell the honey on their own farm stands.
Well, we got lucky a couple years ago when Frank came by wanting to bring his bees to our farm. The nice thing about Frank is he brings in his colonies of bees so that they live right here on the farm and pollinate our fruits and vegetables. Bees only fly 5 miles, is not very far. When Frank brings in his bees, they're right here, and they get to drink and eat all the food they want and collect it for their honey. Frank himself is a great bee educator. He wants everybody in the world to know how important bees are and how easy it is to keep them in your own backyard.
The thing about being a beekeeper, you gotta realize you either hate it or love it. It's not like one thing in between, because you will get stung. It's not when and how, you will get stung. But being a beekeeper, if you love and love, is like raising your own babies. So it's like they're pets. And you treat them like you have a puppy, or you can have a dog, you know what I mean? You love them for the death, so you fall in love with them. What I want to tell people to keep going on or becoming a beekeeper, but don't do it the way I did. That was not the right way to do it. Get yourself at least a beginning class of beekeeping so you can know you're going to get yourself into it. You get the basics of it. If you want to become a beekeeper and you fall in love with it, it's going to be hard to say no to beekeeping. So I want people to know beekeeping is good for you, is healthy, keeps you young, you keep moving, and it keeps you active. And an old gentleman from Vermont told me this: we are the blood of society, but the honeybees is the heartbeat of the environment. So I want to leave that to people to just click on the back of their mind how important the honeybee is to you.
I've always wanted to try beekeeping. That looks so fun. Thanks to SonnyBees for having us in. Community Action Inc.'s Head Start program for children ages 0 to 5 serves over 100 families across Greater Haverhill and Newburyport. But Head Start is far more than just a preschool. They serve not just young children, but their families as well, providing comprehensive services to low-income families in the Merrimack Valley and Seacoast areas. The Journal visited CAI's newly renovated Fox Center to learn about the resources they provide.
Hi, I'm Patty Sargent. I'm the Director of Family Services for Community Action's Early Head Start program. We are a federally funded program serving diverse families and low-income families in the Haverhill and Seacoast communities. So we're a comprehensive program offering a lot of supports to children and families in our communities. For all of our programs, there is no charge, and all of our services are provided at no charge.
We are a program that provides support for children and families for transitioning into kindergarten. We have a full curriculum, we have a full academic teaching staff, and as well as we provide family service support for families that are living in crisis situations. My specific job is to make sure that the food program runs correctly. I write all the menus. I try to be as culturally diverse as possible. I like to do theme days. For instance, for St. Patrick's Day, we did a traditional corned beef and cabbage for all the kiddos. It was so fun. Because of the very specific population that we serve, we do see a lot of nutritional difficulties, food insecurities. So it's really, I'm very passionate about trying to make sure that all of the families have access to the food resources that they need.
My experience has been very unique with Head Start. I did start as a parent way back when. You know, our approach to learning is very different than what I've seen in other daycares. You know, I have 3 kids, so I have been in the classroom as a parent, and it's very family oriented in a way where the kids have structure and, you know, they all know each other, they all care about each other, and they have snacks together and they play together. And I feel that, you know, the teachers here, the staff, it encourages that. Even though I'm in an administrative, you know, position, I'm still able to see them in the hallways, and it's not a huge facility, so they do recognize our faces and they'll say hi. And I just feel like that's just so rewarding to see and be a small part of.
Well, I have been with Head Start programs for over 20 years in several different states. I have done a number of different roles within Head Start, and I love the mission and the just the purpose of Head Start. I feel that, as I mentioned earlier, the unique piece about Head Start is that we are serving the entire family. Through the last couple of years, we've been making steady improvements to our site here, the Fox Center here in Haverhill. We constructed a brand new playground area outside, so that's exciting. We have done some renovations on the inside as well, and so that was exciting to be able to make the building more comfortable for children and staff. So to apply for our program, folks can go to the Community Action website. There is an online application there that they can complete. They will fill out the application online, and then a staff person from our program will reach out to them to complete the application.
Find out more about Community Action, Inc. or apply for the Head Start program at their website, communityactioninc.org. It's time to plant those gardens, and where better to buy local garden plants than the Haverhill Garden Club's annual plant sale, being held Saturday, May 21st on Bradford Common, Route 125 in Bradford. Vegetables, flowers, annuals, perennials, herbs, they've got it all, and you can even bring your garden tools for sharpening. The plant sale begins at 8 a.m. and goes until sellout, but you're advised to arrive early for the best selection. This year's Haverhill Memorial Day Parade will be held on Memorial Day, Monday, May 30th. The parade begins at 10 a.m. at the VFW building on Canosa Avenue. The route will pass from Monument Square down Main Street onto Summer Street, concluding at Linwood Cemetery, where a remembrance ceremony and salute will be held. If you have a story or event you'd like to see featured on the Haverhill Journal, call us at 978-372-8070 or email info@haverhillcommunitytv.org. And don't forget to like us on Facebook or at our HC Media YouTube channel. And that's what's happening in Haverhill this month. I'm Lindsay Paris, and we'll be back in June. See you next time, everyone. Good night.